And I was sharing some information with Sister Crystal. We had really some real good contacts yesterday, and as we make plans towards our youth outing, we may have as many as 4 or 5 different churches with young people that'll be a part of that. And so please pray for that. I know Brother Montejo mentioned that earlier, but we really, really need your prayers concerning that. You probably heard me tell this story, and boy, is this pretty much where we are. There are 3 men that were on a ship. They were on a boat, and they were out fishing. And while they were out fishing, somehow, some way, the boat sprung a leak. And while the men thought that just by throwing overboard the various goods that they had on the boat, that it would slow down the water coming into the ship, into the boat. And but they noticed that it did not work, and the boat was filling up with water. And then one of them, who was rather religious, he said, "Well, guys," he said, it looks like we're not going to be able to stop the water from coming into the boat." And he said, "So it looks to me like we are going to have to pray." When he said that, the other 2 guys looked at him and said, "You mean to tell me that it hasn't gotten that bad, has it?" It hasn't gotten that. I know that's the way it went over when I told the last time too. But you know, isn't it a shame that these 2 guys that say it hasn't gotten that bad? Can I tell you that today in our country, it's beyond that bad? Amen. It's beyond that. And it's interesting because God has equipped us with the wherewithal for us to get him involved in what's going on in our country. Now, I am a firm believer. I believe that we need to do whatever is necessary to shake up our politicians and ask them that, hey, you're sinking this nation more than you're helping it. And I believe that we have every right, because we are the constituency. We are the ones who put these guys in office. Well, at least some of us are. Amen. And we need to do what's necessary. But the greatest tool, or the greatest piece of arsenal that we have at our disposal, is prayer. It's prayer. And it seems like we've gotten away from that. And I've already indicated that this week is going to be devoted to prayer. In fact, Thursday is the National Day of Prayer. But this is considered to be the weekend leading up to that. Jesus made a statement in verse number 5. Notice his words. Jesus said this. He says, "And when thou prayest," there, he says, "thou shalt not be as the hypocrites, for hypocrites are, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their rewards." Now, as you'll notice here, it's not wrong, and we have to say this, it's not wrong to pray publicly. In fact, on Wednesday nights, we have our prayer time, and I'll call on several men to pray during our Wednesday night service. And then, of course, we'll have our Bible study. But it's not anything, there's nothing wrong with praying in public. And let me say this to you, there's nothing wrong with praying over your food at a restaurant.